so raw, can't hide the truth. Words so sharp, they cut right through. Real talk for the soul's appeal. Prayers rise up the wounds they heal. Lift our voices to the sky. A righteous perspective high. On this path we won't back down. For the Father wears the crown. Each step brings another fight. Breaking chains, we're seeking light. Voice of power won't be tamed. With his love, we're never shamed. Lift our voices to the sky. A righteous perspective high. On this path we won't back down. For the Father wears the crown. From the ashes we shall rise. Hope is found deep in our eyes. Every word a battle cry. With the Father none deny.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to ARP in the morning. I am your host, Wise, and I appreciate you guys pulling up this morning. Hope you guys enjoyed the weekend. I really, really do. I really hope you guys enjoyed the weekend, man. We got to get the show started off the right way. I want to show some love to some folks in the chat, but before we do so, man, I want you guys to see this clip here, man. Check this clip out right here. This is from over the weekend. This is crazy.
Watch out, nigga! You know you sucked up. Watch out! Watch out! Give me that shit! What's that, homie? Where's this? Oh! Get that shit! Watch out, watch out, watch out. Oh, you socked her in the face. Hey, fuck that nigga. Get him! Hey, throw a trash can at him! Get him, fuck that nigga! Y'all niggas sneaky! Y'all niggas sneaky! Bro need to give up.
That's enough of that, man. This is crazy what is going on out in California. It seems like it's seeped out into New York now. Man, again, happy Monday to each and every one of you guys, man. I hope you guys had a great weekend. And what you just saw right there, that's what's been happening over the weekend out in LA. That's what's going on out in LA. It is freaking crazy. What's happening right now in California, it's absolute chaos. And once again, it's the left's reaction that's making headlines, not the actual facts on the ground. It's their reaction. ICE recently launched large-scale immigration enforcement operations in both Los Angeles and in New York City. These are legal raids coordinated with multiple federal agencies and backed by existing immigration laws immigration laws. But you think from the media coverage and the response from Democratic leaders like LA Mayor Karen Bass and Governor Gavin Newsom that the government just dropped paratroopers into their cities. The two of these people, Karen Bass, Governor Newsom currently, are accusing ICE of spreading fear and terrorizing communities. This is happening, man. I can't even say this is happening. This has happened and this is currently happening. These people act as if enforcing the law is now considered psychological warfare. It is freaking ridiculous what is going on. The elected leaders, in California, in New York, and other places that are condoning this type of behavior, they should be ashamed of themselves, man. They should be ashamed of themselves. Seriously. We got a good show today, man. We got a good show today. We got my guy, Jason from Dear Woke Christian. He's going to join us a little later today in the show to discuss this debacle. I got a couple stories to get into today. We're going to start with what's going on out there in California. We're going to start there and we're going to continue. We're going to continue down a rabbit hole that, may be somewhat infuriating to some of you guys, man. Seriously. But before we do that, I want to make sure I show some love to my people in the chat. What up, Kevin Caldwell? How's it going this morning? Hope all is well with you. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. What's up, Lori Oddison? What's going on with you? Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Shout out to Lori Oddison, man. She said, please pray for my home state, California. I said that yesterday. Not only should we pray for Cali, but we should also be praying for our ICE agents and other members, of LEO or law enforcement officers out there that are putting their lives on the line. We got to make sure that we keep these people lifted up in prayer. What's going on, Marie News? How's it going this morning? She says she's back in Georgia. What up, Redefined Queen? Appreciate you pulling up. Delinda House. What up, Zephyr K9? Hope all is well. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. What up, Quincy James? How's it going this morning, brother? Hope all is well with you. Appreciate you pulling up. What up, PK Krillin? Appreciate you pulling up this morning as well. What up, Mark? How's it going this morning? Nashville in the building. Appreciate you pulling up. What up, Brian M? Appreciate you pulling up. Shelby Dodd, how's it going this morning? Billy W, appreciate you pulling up this morning. H-Town in the building. H-Town still here and not on fire. That's a blessing. That's good to hear. Shout out to Donald Lovejoy. Appreciate you pulling up. What up, Keywine Lynette? Appreciate you pulling up this morning. What up, Chester? How's it going this morning, brother? Billboard Builds out of Massachusetts. Appreciate you pulling up this morning, brother. Hope all is well. What's up, Marla? How you doing this morning? God bless America 856. Appreciate you pulling up. What's up, Playboy Billy? William Walker Grimsworth, man. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. What up, RJ Hudson? Hope all is well with you. Appreciate you pulling up. We got JC in the house. Kirkus McGurkus. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. What up, DD? How you doing this morning? Appreciate you pulling up. Said morning, y'all. She getting her yawn on. Hey, those things are contagious, man. Keep those things away from me. What up, Sabrina MD? Appreciate you pulling up. Hello from Highland, California. Hey, man, peace and blessings to you guys out there. What's going on, RJ Hudson? My youngin, RJ Hudson out of South Carolina. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. What up, Scott Jung? How's it going this morning, brother? What up, Mike C? Appreciate you pulling up. Pam Westcott, Grand Rapids, Michigan in the building. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. What up, Dion? How you doing this morning, sister? Hope all is well with you. What up, Rose Brown? We got DeKelch out of Jackson, Tennessee. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Amber Young, how's it going? What up, B? How you doing this morning, sister? Hope all is well with you. What up, Corrine Easley? Appreciate you pulling up. Steve Edmister, appreciate you pulling up out of Buffalo. Shout out to you. Hope all is well. Want to make sure I didn't miss anybody today. We got Omar Shaid. Appreciate you pulling up this morning, brother. Thank you very much. Brian Gable, appreciate you pulling up this morning. Hope all is well. Hope all is well. Thank you very much. Who else we got up in here today? What up, Reza Mahmood? How's it going this morning, brother? Voices for the Voiceless. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Shout out to Reza Mahmood, man. Milwaukee up in the house, man. Appreciate you. What up, Regina? How's it going this morning, sister? West Virginia Y in the house. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. We got Mary Furagia. Appreciate you pulling up. Hopefully I pronounced that properly. Out of Malta. Thank you very much. We got Europe in the building. Appreciate you pulling up. Randy Johnson. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Absolutely. Let's get it. What up, Krista Knight? Appreciate you pulling up this morning. What's up, Wendy? How you doing? We got Maverick One. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. We got My Angel You. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Thank you very much for pulling up this morning. Shout out to Brian Gable. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Yeah, it's a mess out there, man. It really, really is, man. It's a mess. Be Wise Open Eyes. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Thank you very much. It says mostly peaceful. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of times, the media, man, they're going to show you some of the craziest aspects of the situation. But if you're actually out there, it's probably a little better than what they're showing on TV. That's normally the case. I know out here when we had the riots, when Freddie Gray, was killed or passed away, and we had the riots out here in Baltimore. I actually worked downtown at that time, and there were areas where it was unsafe. But I worked pretty much every day. There was one day that we did end up going home early from work, but it wasn't as bad as they tried to make it seem. But it got crazy at times, especially at night. But yeah, it's crazy, man. All right, who else we got? We got Betty Spaghetti in the building. 1 Bravo, 10 Infantry. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for pulling up this morning, man. Make sure you all hit that like button for me if you hadn't done so already. Lionheart, what's going on with you? I'm glad the National Guard was called out. Absolutely. The behavior is just beyond outrageous, to be honest with you, Lionheart, man. It's beyond outrageous. This shouldn't be the case, but here we are, first term of President Trump, and here we are with another quote-unquote summer of love. This looks like it's going to be the summer of love 2025. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy what's going on, man. It really, really is. Unnecessary, to be honest with you as well. We got Pat F. out of York, PA, not too far away from me up here. Una W., appreciate you pulling up this morning. We got TWB. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Hope all is well. Thank you guys for pulling up. If you haven't done so, please make sure you hit that like button for me. If you haven't done so, we got Mono Green in the house. Robert Dalton in the building. Shout out to you. We do have a goal today. We have Jason from Dear Woke Christian. If we do hit our goal, our Super Chats goal, we'll open it up for some Q&A for him. I know he's got a little bit to add to the conversation that's going on and what's going on out in California, as well as what's going on out in New York. So, if you'd like to do a quick Q&A with him, let's make sure that we hit our goal for Super Chats, today. And with everything that's going on, this is probably not a monetized stream this morning. Y'all know what time it is. Who else we missing? B says she ran into Zephyr on a live stream of these riots last night. Oh, wow. Okay, cool. We got Mylene and Muriel Rupert. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Thank you very much, man. Hey, if you haven't done so already, man, hit that like button for me. Super chats will stop the show. Super thanks will stop the show. If you haven't done so already, man, I appreciate everybody that has pulled up this morning. We got a lot to get into. You guys, I'm sure, seen the thumbnail. I'm sure you guys had a chance to read the title. We got to talk about some things that are going on, across the country, not just out in California and out in New York, but there's some other things going on up in Minnesota that we need to discuss. We have 304 people up in here. Please make sure you all hit that like button. Blues, I'm not sure exactly where we at with the likes right now, but let's make sure that we are at least 300 likes right now. Smash that like button for me, as my guy, Joseph Orsini just mentioned. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button for me. Please do so. That's the only cost to the live stream today, man. I thank you guys very, very much, man. They said there was only like 43 people locked up. I'm sure that number has increased since yesterday when I was kind of covering this and looking at this yesterday, but this is a freaking mess. Shout out to Abraxas2121 out of Woodbridge, Virginia. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Thank you very much. We got Rhonda Evans Zander. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Thank you very much. She says, why don't they fight this hard against the cartels to make their country safe for their families that they left behind? Yeah, I agree with that sentiment 100%. Wow. Quincy James, man, y'all make sure y'all put some prayers up for Quincy James's cousin, who is LAPD. He says says it's just as bad as the video show. Awesome. Y'all make sure y'all put some prayers out there, man, for all the Leos. For all the Leos, and for those of you guys that don't know what Leo stand for, is law enforcement officer. Y'all make sure y'all put some prayers up, man, and let's cover them and protect them in prayer this morning, man. They need it. They definitely need it. Shout out to Kim Lalier, hopefully I'm pronouncing that properly, out of Rhode Island. Thank you very much for pulling up this morning. We got Motto Green. Appreciate you all pulling up this morning. Thrifter, not hoarder, Sally. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. I don't know if we have anybody that is in the LA area, but I'd love to hear from you guys if you are out there. I'd love to hear from you guys, if you are out there. Thank you very much. Shout out to, who was it? Shout out to Lil Rob 820 said he finally caught a live. Y'all make sure y'all show Lil Rob 820 some love in the chat. Finally caught up with a live. Thank you very much, man. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Y'all make sure y'all welcome Lil Rob, man. It is crazy out there, man. It is crazy out there. Shout out to Christy with the $20 super chat. Says, good morning, everyone. Prayers up. Yeah. Let's make sure we keep our Leos covered in prayer, man. Necessary. Definitely necessary, man. Thank you guys so much, man. I want to make sure that we're caught up here. What up, Paula Hegler? Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Thank you very much. My angel, you appreciate you pulling up this morning as well. Y'all make sure y'all keep the Leos, man. Keep them lifted up in prayer, man. They're gonna need it. All our law enforcement officers, our ICE agents, those border patrol, anybody that's wearing a uniform, man, trying to keep things civil and trying to keep things peaceful, out there, man. Hey, let's keep them lifted up in prayer. They definitely need it. Thank you very much, Christy, for the $20 super chat. Hit that like button for me if you hadn't done so already. Super chats will stop the show. Super thanks will stop the show. Anybody that joins the ARP family, that will stop the show. Anybody that is a member, if you hit member chat, it doesn't cost you anything, but if you just want to be heard, hit that member chat. That way I know to 100% make sure I read that as well. That will stop the show as well. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel and supporting me. Over here a little later today, we're going to have Jason from Dear Woke Christian join the stream for a little bit as well. Thank you guys very much. Shout out to Jeff Mikorath. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that properly. Out the Philippines. Shout out to you, brother, man. 12-hour time distance. Wow. So it's almost 10 o'clock in the evening out there. Appreciate you pulling up this morning, man. Thank you very much. What's up, Michelle? How you doing this morning? Nanny's Take on the World in the building. Shout out to you. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Thank you very much. Hit that like button, man. Let's get the show started.
Being deployed as protesters clash with police. And News Nation is tracking the unrest in LA County tonight after sweeping raids from immigration and customs enforcement officers today. Protests also erupting across New York City this weekend, with demonstrators flooding the streets in response to the wave of federal immigration raids. And now with tensions mounting coast to coast, all eyes on the growing divide between local communities and federal enforcement. Joining us now to give insights on the local response to all of this, former NYPD officer Bill Stanton. Thank you so much for staying with us. And talk us through this. These ICE raids started around 10 a.m., centering around a Home Depot and a clothing factory. And that's on the federal level, but we're really seeing local law enforcement spreading that concertina wire this hour, zip ties at the ready, trying to hold the line tonight. What role are they being tasked with right now? What is most important right now?
Right now, the utmost priority is safety. Safety for the police officers, safety for the citizens that are not taking part in this, and safety for the protesters themselves. Because as this exponentially escalates, right, they may be throwing rocks right now, they may be throwing sticks, but it may enhance to Molotov cocktails or something more deadly. And that puts them almost as much in danger as the ones they're throwing it at, because things can go wrong. And as much as these elements, whether they're anarchists, whether potential gangs or actual protesters that are caught up in the fervor, they're looking forward to the nighttime. Nighttime emboldens them, and that is making law enforcement full of anxiety. So hopefully they get this dispersed sooner than later.
Yeah, it has been shocking that just in the last hour, our own News Nation correspondent Nancy Liu on the ground there with Nate Fieri, her photographer, as that crowd was surging, she was reporting that protesters were threatening to kill her with a rock. Any surprise for you here at the level of potential violence that we're seeing tonight?
No, not at all. It gets scary. I've been out there with news agencies in the past, in those riot scenarios, and it's almost like a palpable tension that you feel, figuratively and literally, like you're sitting on a powder keg. Now, you have the...
Yeah, this is crazy, man. This is it's probably worse than crazy. This is insane. It really is what's going on. It's insane. It's unfortunate. It's ridiculous. I mean, let's zoom in on what actually went down. In Los Angeles, ICE detained over 100 individuals in coordinated raids with at least 44 people arrested in the initial sweep. 44 people were arrested in the initial sweep. The FBI and DHS say many of those individuals had serious criminal records, gang members, we're talking drug traffickers. Some of these folks were even, child sex offenders. Yet the narrative from California leadership is not about public safety. It's about how unfair and inhumane the enforcement is. That's where they are with things. Never mind the fact that every single one of these ICE agents or ICE officers, they're just doing the job. They're just doing the job under the authority of the federal law. Yet these people are attacking ICE agents. I mean, this is ridiculous, man. And this is where we are in 2025. And people like this lady right here, she has all the blame, all of it. Her, Governor Newsom, they got to take the blame for this.
We are going to fight for all Angelenos, regardless of when they got here, whether they have papers or not. We are a city of immigrants, and this impacts hundreds of thousands of Angelenos. We are going to fight for all.
Yeah, this is the lady that let her city burn down. Think about that. That's the woman that let her city burn down. Over 1,000 protesters, 1,000, over 1,000 protesters attacking federal agencies, and Karen Bass and Gavin Newsom. They offer nothing and have done nothing. They offer nothing and have done nothing. The situation got so heated that protesters physically confronted ICE agents outside of a business in Paramount, California, just 20 miles from downtown LA. Protesters swarmed federal vehicles, tried to blight ICE vans from leaving, and even clashed with officers in riot gear. I mean, this is where we are in 2025. I mean, it reminds you, it looks like a daggone movie. This is the United States of America, man. This looks like something that you'll see, in another country, the way they're moving around. This is the United States of America. What you see in this video is they're showing CBP agents inside their vehicle as they are being pelted with rocks while they attempt to leave the anti-ICE protest in Paramount, California. You can hear and see the windows and the windshields breaking with every hit. At one point, a protester even attempted to stand in front of an ICE vehicle and ended up falling and injuring himself. Not because he was attacked, but because he thought obstructing law enforcement was a good idea. Now, let me be very clear. Peaceful protest is a constitutional right, and I'm not here to excoriate people for peacefully protesting. That's not what's happening here, though. That's not what's happening. Peaceful protest, it's a First Amendment, it's a constitutional right. I'm 100% here for that. But what's going on in California is everything but that. Physically blocking federal agents and interfering with arrests, that's not protest, people. That's obstruction of justice. And according to the DHS, anyone caught doing that will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. LAPD and the Sheriff's Department, they played it safe and stayed neutral, not assisting ICE directly and making sure to avoid any overt show of support. And that's exactly the problem right there. Because when law enforcement refuses to back each other up, especially in a city spiraling into lawlessness, they're signaling that the mob rule is acceptable. Now, understand, they are receiving their orders from the mayor, They're receiving their orders from the governor, but it's not right, man. It's not right. You literally have the acting ICE director, and former ICE chief, Tom Homan, speaking against this and letting everybody know, hey, we're not backing down. They both made it clear that enforcement operations will continue and that the agency has zero tolerance for interference. And in fact, Tom Homan confirmed that the National Guard is being called in to support future raids if necessary, something we haven't seen on this level since the George Floyd riots. I mean, again, this is looking like the summer of love all over again. Now, you guys remember how out of control that situation got, right? Y'all remember how out of control that situation got. Y'all remember Governor, what's his name? Waltz. His wife was talking about how she opened the windows up so she could smell the city burning. Y'all recall that? These people are sick, man. These are some sick individuals, man.
Like I said many times, these elected officials or these non-government organizations, they can't cross the line either. I mean, we got people like, Hakeem Jeffries saying he's going to dox ICE employees, ICE agents out there with masks on. They're wearing masks to protect themselves and their families because they've been doxxed, their families been doxxed, their life's been threatened, their families have been threatened. I know myself, I had over 1,000 protesters at my house. I expect that as the borders are, but these men and women are putting their lives online every day. They arrested a lot of bad people yesterday and today. They arrested child sex offenders. They arrested people convicted of robbery. They arrested public safety, not only significant public safety threats, but national security threats. They arrested gang members. We're making Los Angeles safer. And Mayor Bass ought to be thanking us for making her city safer. And the term migrant, as Joe Concha rightfully said earlier, they're illegal aliens. There are illegal aliens in this country, and we welcome. We're the most giving country in the world. But these are illegal aliens who committed a crime by crossing this border illegally, then yet committed another crime. Again, yesterday's about a criminal investigation into money laundering, tax evasion, and some of the funds going to cartels in Mexico and Colombia that fund their operations of sending narcotics to this country, killing American people. This is about enforcing the law, and again, we're not going to apologize for doing it. We're stepping up. She says they're going to mobilize. Well, guess what? We're already ahead of the game. We're already mobilizing. We're going to bring National Guard in tonight. We're going to continue doing our job. We're going to push back on these people, and we're going to force the law.
Tom, it's Lydia.
Shout out to Eric Smith with the super chat. Let me pull him up here. Thank you, Eric Smith, for the $5 super chat. Says, can we finally treat this as an invasion and exercise our Second Amendment? Thank you, Eric, for the $5 super chat. Hey, you're not going to get an argument from me on that particular statement, brother. You're not going to get no argument from me on that particular statement, but it's a night and day difference here. Night and day difference here between the federal government and failed California leadership. Night and day difference. Imagine starting a riot because criminals are being taken off the streets. Make it make sense, man. Imagine starting a riot because criminals are being taken off the streets. What's the difference between what's going on now and Karen Bass, who did not get out there and condemn the violence? She didn't do that. She didn't do that. She didn't condemn the violence. Instead, she took the X, doubled down, saying, she said this right here. Let me pull this up for you, man. I want you guys to see this. This is her tweet right here that she threw out there. These ICE agents or these ICE tactics are sowing terror in her city, and that her office stands in close coordination with the immigrant rights organization. Notice how she didn't say anything, about coordinating with law enforcement, the FBI or DHS. Her priority isn't protecting law and order, it's protecting illegal immigrants from being deported, even when they've committed violent crimes. In response, ICE leadership, they were blunt. They said anyone who obstructs their operations, from protesters to elected officials, is essentially siding with criminals. And I agree. What do you guys think on this? What are your thoughts? Anybody siding with these people are siding with the criminals. I agree 100%, man. And if you're standing in the way of ICE arresting human traffickers, people who have committed some of the most heinous acts out there, we're talking cartel-linked offenders, the list goes on and on. Then who exactly are you standing with, and what exactly are you standing for? Now let's apply some logic here. Let's say ICE is 80% effective at targeting people with serious criminal convictions. Maybe 15% of the rest are people who haven't committed a violent crime but crossed illegally. And yes, maybe a small percentage, 5% or less, might actually be here legally and get mistakenly caught up. It's not perfect. It's not. It's not perfect at all. But no law enforcement operation ever is perfect. I served in the military. Most of our operations, they didn't go down, as perfect as we planned it. No law enforcement operation is ever perfect. Come on now. Still, the vast majority of people being detained are threats to public safety, and yet the left chooses to make martyrs out of these folks and vilify the very agents trying to clean up the mess. Even MSDNC, they got in on the hysteria, suggesting that this is part of some grand plan by Trump to use the military as his personal police force. This is unbelievable, man. I'd say it's unbelievable. You know what? I shouldn't say it's unbelievable because it's not. This is who they are, man. This is who they are.
You know, Miles, the governor of California, Governor Gavin Newsom, put on X, the federal government is sowing chaos so they can have an excuse to escalate. And I want to call us all back to a New York Times article that says Trump has regret over not using this law that we're talking about to quell BLM protests. During a campaign rally in 2023, the New York Times writes, Trump made clear he was not going to hold back in a second term. Quote, "You're supposed to not be involved in that. You just have to be asked by the governor or the mayor to come in. More importantly, the next time I'm not waiting." Does it feel to you like this is all pretext to what they have been wanting to do anyway?
Yes, and it is. This is, in my opinion, the single most significant act you've seen yet in the Trump administration. People are going to start to come to that realization over the next few days. This is the big one. This is the one that people like me were warning about. When I came forward first in 2020 and started talking about the things I was most worried about that I saw in the first Trump administration that the president wanted to do, at the top of that list was deploying the U.S. military on U.S. soil to enforce domestic law. We had stopped Donald Trump in 2019 from invoking the Insurrection Act because we and our lawyers didn't think the way he wanted to do it was legal. In fact, I rushed to the White House as he was planning to make the State of the Union address, and he wanted to insert a line about how he was invoking the act and deploying the U.S. military on U.S. soil. We felt like that was a dangerous, slippery slope so that Donald Trump would end up taking control of national law enforcement. Make no mistake, his own lieutenants were worried he would create a de facto police state if he was going to be deploying the military on U.S. soil. What is happening in Los Angeles is not a rational response to what they're seeing on the ground. This is indeed, in my view, pre-planned to be able to give the president justification to invoke the Insurrection Act. And it made sense that where they decided to do these raids was Los Angeles. I very firmly believe in the White House, they suspected the response would be protests, and then they could use the protests as a response to use the Insurrection Act. But this is much, much bigger than Los Angeles. I'm telling you, from the first term, if Donald Trump had gotten the authority to use the military on U.S. soil to enforce domestic law, it was going to go much beyond enforcement of immigration law. That was our fear, and we are seeing potentially the early innings of that play out in real time. So this is very, very significant. Folks need to wake up, and I don't suspect they're going to be going and asking governors for their permission in other states where they try to deploy the military on U.S. city streets.
Shout out to Goose with the $2 super chat. He says, "Are blacks standing with illegal immigrants?" I'd say that's a good question, but I don't necessarily think it's a good question. But I will say this. There are some, most from what I'm seeing on X, there's a lot of people who are saying, hey, we don't got nothing to do with this. This is not our fight. There's a large amount, but you do have some people that are fighting for this. And obviously you'll see it on mainstream media, is that you do have, some black folks, in America, fighting or standing up with or standing up for illegal immigration in this country, and you will see it. Do appreciate the super chat and appreciate the question as well. Definitely appreciate the question. And unfortunately, yeah, there are some people out there, unfortunately. And again, I would say, I don't know why, because we don't got nothing to do with that. Black people in America ain't got nothing to do with illegal immigration in this country. We got nothing to do with it. Although they tried on the left, you got to understand, on the left, they've tried to lump everybody into this one, quote unquote, victimhood oppressive coalition. And I just don't think, that's right. I don't think it's right. And unfortunately, but you do have some people that fall a victim to it and are fighting or standing up for it. I don't know how much of them are out there looting and rioting. I don't know. But yeah, there are some. I saw a video the other day, or yesterday, more like the other day, like this has been going on for a long time. But yesterday, there was a brother that was crying, shedding tears on social media about this, which is ridiculous. Ridiculous. Like, bro, what you crying about? This ain't got nothing to do with you. But CNN here, CNN, there's a reason why no one really watches them like that. There's a reason behind that. You know what I'm saying? There's a reason why no one's watching CNN I'm sorry, not CNN, but MSDNC. They're not really watching CNN either like that. Shout out to Paulette. Y'all make sure y'all show Paulette some love in the chat. Said it's her first time pulling up. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. But you see the left, specifically, MSDNC, they're actually trying to spin this as though ICE officers executing standard federal warrants are jackbooted thugs sent to intimidate liberal cities. The paranoia is unreal. The fact that we have cities out there that would call themselves sanctuary cities, or the fact that we have states that would, quote unquote, call themselves sanctuary states, that's a problem. In my opinion, when I first heard that term, probably 10 years ago, I thought maybe it was a little longer than that. When I started hearing sanctuary, I was like, sanctuary from what? And then I realized what it was. I was like, huh? In America? Sanctuaries, quote unquote, sanctuary cities? They're all left-leaning places. They're all of them. They're all left-leaning places. But, when it comes to these people, man, these people on the left, man, the paranoia is unreal. It really is. And that particular panel there, one pundit even claimed that Trump is escalating conflict deliberately so that he can justify bringing in the military. I mean, are these people serious? This isn't a rational response, man. The Democrats keep calling the protests peaceful, but to me, it seems like they're everything but peaceful. Everything but peaceful, man. But that just goes to show you, how much these people lie, man. Seriously.
The National Guard to Los Angeles to deal with the protesters there. The president bypassing the governor and federalizing the Guard himself. He says he did so because Governor Gavin Newsom and LA Mayor Karen Bass refused to act against the unrest. What is your response to President Trump's decision to deploy the National Guard?
Look, since years before I was born, law enforcement knows it's good when there's cooperation and coordination. For the president to do this when it wasn't requested, breaking with generations of tradition, is only going to incite the situation and make things worse. We are now at a point where we have a president who sat back and did nothing as people stormed our Capitol, viciously beat police. And then when those people who viciously beat police and led to some of their deaths, therefore cop killers, were convicted by juries, he then pardoned them all. So for him to be talking to anybody right now about responsive law enforcement to protect people is hypocritical at best. The reality is we see peaceful protests launching in Los Angeles. And again, any violence against police officers should not be accepted. Local authorities can handle that. But remember, a lot of these peaceful protests are being generated because the president of the United States is...
President Trump saying he plans to deploy the national...
I wanted to show y'all that just so you could see just lie after lie after lie after lie after lie. I mean, goodness gracious. I don't think one thing that dude said with a factual statement. Seriously. Not one thing. Seriously. Not one thing. Now, I got a question to ask you guys. Does this look like peaceful protest to you? Does this look like a peaceful protest to you? Lower down. I mean, we literally have people marching. They got Mexican flags. These aren't even people trying to assimilate. I mean, these folks are throwing rocks. This doesn't look peaceful to me. Yeah, doesn't look like peaceful protest to me. I don't know. Maybe I got the definition wrong on what's considered peaceful, but that for sure doesn't look like peaceful to me. But we've seen this movie before, right? Let's be real. We've seen this movie before. The left doesn't believe in borders. They don't believe in illegal immigration. Or let me take that back. They don't believe that illegal immigration is a crime. And they absolutely believe that no matter how someone enters the country, legally or not, they should get full benefits from healthcare to education to legal protections. No vetting, no accountability, no enforcement. That's the vision that they're pushing. And the rest of us, we're just supposed to sit back and accept it. We're just supposed to sit back and just, accept and believe that these protests are peaceful. But I want to ask you something, man. I want to ask you something. Here's a video of a Fox News reporter getting kicked out of a protest over the weekend. I want you guys to see this right here because they said that these people are peaceful. They're peacefully protesting. Shout out to my guy, Kenny G with PI Style with the $2 super sticker. What's going on, Kenny G? How you doing this morning, brother? Appreciate you pulling up. Appreciate you supporting the channel as well. But check this out right here, man. This is insanity. What's going on right now? Look at that. These folks just trying to do their job. Shout out to Jocelyn Street with the $5 super chat. Says, it's very concerning to be out amongst this and try to live a normal life. Yeah. Jocelyn, where are you located at? Are you out there in California or where are you located? Crazy, man. Crazy what's going on. Thank you for the super chat, though. Thank you for the super chat. So I want to ask you guys. I want to ask you guys this, and you guys can answer this for me in the chat, if you could. But I want to ask you guys: would peaceful protesters want the public to know what's going on there? Seriously, you kick out a news reporter. If protesters are peaceful, Do you think that they would want people to know what's actually going on? You know what I'm saying? Do you think that they would want people to know so that that would help to rally the public to their cause instead of kicking reporters out so the light of public scrutiny or knowledge isn't shined on their activities? You would think that you would want them there. Shout out to Goose with the $2 super chat, says Democratic YouTubers are not reporting on this. I wonder why. So let me ask again, man. Would peaceful protesters act in this way? Would peaceful protesters kick out the media? Seriously. Would the peaceful protesters act this way? You know, only one in quote unquote cooperative news organizations there. That's the word out, is that they only want cooperative news outlets there. What's up, Crystal? How you doing this morning, sister? We're gonna have to get you. I want to hear your take on this. I want to get your thoughts on this. So a little later, I'll send a link over to you, man. I want to get your thoughts on this. ICE isn't playing around with these people, and they're not playing along. And I'm glad. ICE is out there attempting to do their job, and they're not apologizing for it. The video I put out yesterday, I wanted to show that just because I wanted to show that interview with Tom Homan, who is standing on business, standing 10 toes down. Like, nah, we're out here to do a job. And we're going to fulfill said job. We're going to handle business. We're going to do what needs to be done. ICE, they've ramped up operations at this point, confirmed more raids are coming, and they made it clear if local police won't support them, they'll bring in the National Guard. And you know what? I'm good. I'm good with them bringing the National Guard in. These people are acting a fool. The Guard needs to be called. Because the reality of it is this: if you have elected officials actually inciting this, and we had elected officials choosing not to defend their cities from violent criminals, someone has to do it. Someone has to do it. Seriously. Somebody's got to do it. We're going to keep the show moving along. We're going to keep things moving along. In other news, I want you guys, I don't know if you guys had a chance to check this out or heard about this, but in other news, there's another major beef over the weekend. Another one. Simone Biles and Riley Gaines, they're going at each other. We got to get into this. We got to break this thing down. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Riley Gaines. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with Simone Biles. Simone Biles, man, a highly decorated Olympic athlete, gymnast, married to an NFL player, is trying to do things the right way. You got Riley Gaines, who has been one of the most outspoken voices for protecting women's sports. She called out Minnesota State High School League for turning off comments on a post celebrating a team that just won the state softball championship. Don't know if you guys have heard this, but we got to get into this. We got to get into it. We got to. There's a Minnesota softball team. They just won the state softball championship. And I think we talked about this last week, if I'm not mistaken. We talked about the individual on their way. They hadn't actually won it, but they've officially won the state championship. And it turns out, we don't even have to say turns out, one of their star players on the team is a biological male. We talked about this last week, but one of the players on that team is a biological male. Let me pull this up for you guys just so you can see it for yourself. So you can see here in this clip here, Riley, not the clip, but I mean, I guess the picture or the tweet more or less. But Riley simply quoted, she quote tweeted the post and said, it's to be expected when your star player is a boy. That's it. Just pointing out, what she and a lot of us believe is unfair. And then you got to enter Simone Biles. Simone Biles, man, for those of you guys that don't know, Simone Biles, Olympic gymnast, massive public figure, and apparently now an activist for men in women's sports. Can't make this stuff up, man. You can't make this stuff up. But she came at Riley pretty daggone hard, calling her truly sick and accusing her of being a sore loser who's only speaking out because she lost the race. I mean, this is what's going on. The thing is that you got it's the women, unfortunately, advocating for this foolishness. Seriously. Now we know Simone Biles, Olympic athlete, she knows the difference. She knows what time it is. She knows what time it is. But she decided to get on the side of woke, unfortunately, and we know what happens, when you go down that road. You go woke, you tend to go broke. But y'all seen the tweet here. Simone said Riley should stop bullying trans athletes and instead create a safe space or maybe a whole new category just for them. And then she hit her with the bully someone your own size, like she was implying Riley looks like a man. I mean, this is where we are, man. This is where we are in 2025. You have people, women, who are actually advocating against women. Unfortunately, young girls, unfortunately. Yeah, I don't know, man. I really don't know. I don't understand it. I don't get it. I really don't. I don't get it. But the post itself is somewhat hypocritical, in my opinion. It's somewhat hypocritical. I mean, this is coming from someone who once took part in a body positivity campaign. I mean, I really don't get it. I really don't. I just don't. I don't understand it. I don't understand why you have people out here who are, willing to stand up for this. Seriously.
I wish people would stop asking me this. How tall are you? Are you gonna grow? I'm not going anywhere. I'm 4'8". I'm stuck. I'm Simone Biles and I love my body. Because it helps with gymnastics and it teaches younger girls to love their bodies as well. I think I've learned to love my muscles a lot more than when I was younger. I got made fun of for my arms a lot. Some people would say mean things. They used to call me a soldier. At the time, it didn't make me feel the best, so I wore sweaters or jackets all year long. Now I show off my arms all the time. To me, healthy body image is when you feel confident in yourself, in and out. To body shamers, let me see. I feel like if you love your body, then that's all you can do, so it doesn't matter what anybody else says. So I think they have to learn to fall in love with themselves. And I think it's out of jealousy sometimes. I would actually say Ali Raisman helped me a lot with my body confidence issues. I mean, she's taught me a lot along the way, but most of the time it's just love yourself. It doesn't matter if you don't want to wear makeup that day, if you don't want to do your hair that day. You're human too, so do what you like. My favorite outfit I've ever worn besides Aaliyah would probably have to be Golden Globes. Because I got to wear this long gold dress and it was very beautiful and I felt confident. My emoji would be the crazy-eyed one with the tongue out. I wish I could show you, but my eyes don't go like that. But because it's kind of fun and crazy and energetic. My favorite part of the way I look is my smile. I don't know, it's a good one. I got blessed with a good smile and so big feet. I think life just in general looks so happy.
Yeah, it just makes you wonder, doesn't it? The difference a couple of years makes. Maybe she got her fame, she got her money, she got her notoriety, and just doesn't care anymore. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's like, hey, man, she's in that celebrity world, she's in that space. Maybe she's attempting to move a little further along in that world, and this is what you got to do. This is what you got to support. But Riley, on the other hand, she still does seem to care about protecting women and protecting women's sports. So she clapped back. And honestly, she handled it with grace and facts, in my opinion. you know, in my opinion. You know, and she goes on to say, it's not my job or any woman's job to figure out how to include men in our spaces. And she's absolutely right. It's wild that this has become controversial. It's wild that this is even a topic that we have to discuss, you know, in this manner, but we've officially reached the point where Simone Biles, a woman who was literally assaulted by a man in her own sport, is now going after another woman for saying men shouldn't be in women's sports. You can't make this stuff up, man. And Riley Gaines rightly pointed this out, showing now, you know, showing how her tune changed really quickly when she was talking about her own abuse, which Larry Nassar should never see the light of day. He shouldn't. That dude should be, honestly, the fact that he's still alive, you know, is baffling, but he should never see the light of day. But take a look at the difference in what she said when a man, no, a monster in her own sport abused her versus what she said when other girls have to endure predatory men. This is unfortunate, man. The double standards or the hypocrisy is just, it's unreal.
Survivor of sexual abuse. And I believe without a doubt that the circumstances that led to my abuse and allowed it to continue are directly the result of the fact that the organizations created by Congress to oversee and protect me as an athlete, USA Gymnastics and the United States Olympic and Paralympic Committee failed to do their jobs. I don't want another young gymnast, Olympic athlete, or any individual to experience the horror that I and hundreds of others have endured before, during, and continuing to this day in the wake of the Larry Nassar abuse. To be clear,
Take your time.
To be clear, I blame Larry Nassar, and I also blame an entire system that enabled and perpetrated his abuse.
Shout out to Goose with the $5 super chat. Says, if you don't align with your celebrity, we can stop the support. Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. I agree with that 1000%. And I want to read this from Ed. And hold up, man. Where'd it go? Oh, I hate when that happens. Ed Marr says, Proverbs chapter 1, verse 7, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. Fools despise wisdom and instruction. Yeah. Some of this has to do with the bag, man. People are willing to do whatever they feel like needs to be done. They're willing to sell their souls for a bag. Simple as that. But this is frustrating. And honestly, I mean, it's kind of tragic because Simone Biles, she knows firsthand what happens, you know, when women are not protected in sports. She knows this. She was abused by Larry Nassar, you know, the disgraced U.S. gymnast doctor who assaulted over 150 girls under the guise of quote unquote medical treatment. This dude should never see the light of the day. And I'm not making light of that situation. She was failed by a system that ignored abuse, silenced victims, and prioritized institutions over individual women. And now she's turning around and silencing other women. Riley Gaines isn't asking for special treatment. She's not asking to silence anybody. She's asking for fairness, for boundaries, and for the basic acknowledgement that men and women are biologically different. And, you know, there was a time when Simone seemed to have agreed, tweeting back in 2017. She tweeted this out. Let me pull this up for you so you guys can see it. But she tweeted this out. Good thing guys don't compete against girls or he'd take all the gold medals. That's what she said back in 17. That's what was said back in 17. She said it. Good thing guys don't compete against the girls or he'd take all the gold medals. That's what was said back in 17. Biles didn't participate, but American females, and when she said this was said during the, oh my gosh. It was the 2017 World Artistic Gymnastic Championships. That was, you know, out in Canada. And Biles, she didn't participate in it, but you had American females, Morgan Hurd, as well as Jade Carey, both of them medaled. Hurd won a gold in the individual all around, and China's Zhou Rao Tong won gold in the men's individual all around. Now, of course, the liberal media, they came running in Simone's defense. USA Today, NPR, all the usual suspects, they praised Simone for standing up for the trans community. This is out there. Of course, this is about the money. Y'all know this. It's always about the money, right? It's always about the money. You know, USA Today, they come out, you know, and this is helping her, you know, maybe helping her social credit score of some sort. You know, let me go ahead and pull this off. For whatever reason, that thing doesn't want to cooperate with me, but this is crazy, man. It's sad. It really is. But they called her tweet, the USA Today did. They called it powerful, inclusive, and brave. You know what would be brave though in this day and age? Speaking the truth to a culture that tries to destroy you for it. That's brave. Riley Gaines, she's done more to protect girls' sports than any female athlete in the country today. And it's not even close. And while elites like Simone Biles enjoy their $1 million endorsements and corporate pride sponsorships, Riley is out there getting death threats for saying that biological sex matters. There is a fundamental biological difference between male athletes and female athletes. And the reality of it is that most Americans agree with her. You can't lie to biology. You can't gaslight fairness. And you definitely can't hide behind rainbow flags when the truth comes knocking. And now Simone, she did throw out an idea of creating a new trans category in sports. But here's where what she clearly doesn't understand or didn't bother to research. The trans community, they don't want that. They're not interested in it. They're not interested in their own category, which I think most people could probably get on board with. Hey, let them have their own category. Let them do them. Or a co-ed category. I think most people would be okay with that, you know, for the, you know, quote unquote inclusivity. Hey, we'll toss a co-ed category for the places that want to have this. They're not interested in that either. They're not interested in that. There was supposed to be a women's World Cup category for trans athletes, and it got canceled because 0 people signed up. 0 people signed up. Look at this. This is a headline from National Review. Water sports governing body forced to cancel trans division swimming competitions after no one enters. So they're not even interested in, you know, any form of compromise or anything along those lines. They're not interested in that at all. These people don't want fairness. They want access. They want women to shut up and step aside. See, the reality of it is this isn't going to affect men. There isn't a woman that woke up one day, decided that she's a man and gonna go in and compete with men. It's just not going to happen. It hasn't happened. Think about it. All the stories that you see, it's some boy or some man that woke up and said, hey, I am no longer Connor. I am, you know, Clarissa, and I'm going to go compete against the girls. And then they tend to go in and dominate. You never see, you know, a female or a young girl, young woman. You never see it. Shout out to Kenny G with the $2 super chat. He says, why we never see a trans man in men's sports? Absolutely, you won't. And the one time you actually had the opportunity to do so, that particular woman decided that I'm gonna stay over here with these girls because I can compete here. If you guys recall, during the NCAA women's swim competition, or during NCAA swim tournaments, back when I cannot think of the dude's last name, but I think his name, Will Thomas, and he goes by Leah Thomas. When he was competing, there was a woman who was transitioning as a man, went by the name Isaac. That individual decided, hey, I'm going to stick with these girls and I'll go through with my regular or what the formal transition or whatever that is, you know, for a woman to become a man. We know that can't happen, but whatever that is that would make someone feel that, and decided that, hey, I'm not going to go compete with the men, because she wouldn't be on the team if she went in there and competed. I mean, y'all got to think, the dude, Will Thomas, was ranked like in the 300s or almost the 400th ranked swimmer in the country, goes in and dominates the women's, breaking records and everything else. Shout out to Jeanette with the $5 super chat, says, could it be Simone sold her soul for the almighty dollar? Highly probable. Highly probable. I don't put anything past these people. I really don't. The things that you got to do for a bag. Shout out to Amnet This Angel with the $2 super chat. Says third category, trans, would just be the soy man division. Oh my goodness. Y'all are crazy. Shout out to my guy Hunter over at I'm a Hunter with the $20 super chat. Says, what up, Wise and ARP crew? Justin got a chance. Okay. Hopefully I'm just got a chance to hop in for a bit and see we looking at some more domestic terrorism. I mean, the loving and compassionate left, not monetizable stream. Guess we need to step up. Thank you very much, Hunter, for the $20 super chat. Thank you very much, brother. Definitely appreciate you supporting the channel this morning. Definitely appreciate that. Dr. Kyla is wow. I don't even want to tell you what happened in my on my wife's side. I'd have to tell y'all that offline. I don't want to put folks' business out here in the streets, but yeah, I don't want to put folks' business out in the streets. But Dr. Kyla, I definitely understand your sentiment. Definitely understand your sentiment. But the fact that the left would call anyone who questions, you know, what Riley said, they would call him transphobic. I honestly don't care what names they use. I mean, this isn't about hate for me. It's about protecting girls. It's about protecting young ladies, young women from being pushed aside in their own spaces. And also about bigger cultural moments. You know, we are watching the collapse of truth in real time. Men are dominating women's sports. Once they get in, they dominate. Women are being told to shut up about it as well. And the people who should be leading the charge, like Simone Biles, are more concerned with staying on brand during Pride Month than standing up for young girls who are losing opportunities every single day. And if Simone had to compete against biological men, she would have never stood on that podium. I don't know how many gold medals she has. I don't know if somebody can let me know in the chat exactly how many gold medals she has, but she's got a lot of them. She's well over 5 for sure. I'm not sure exactly how many she has, but she has a lot of them. But we know that wouldn't be the case if she had to compete against guys. We know this. I know it. You know it. It's the truth. I'm sure Simone Biles, she knows it as well. And here's the bottom line. Riley Gaines isn't the problem. She isn't. She's part of the solution, but she is far from the problem. And Simone Biles isn't being brave. She's just being a bully. And if we don't start defending reality now, our daughters, our nieces, for some of you guys, granddaughters, you know, they won't just lose medals. They won't just lose medals if people don't start standing up for this. They'll lose their voice. They'll lose their privacy. They'll lose their shot at excellence. Let the Simone Biles, you know, of the world, let them have their endorsement deals. Let the media try to spin it however they want. But Riley Gaines, she has something no amount of sponsorships can buy, and that's courage. And I'll stand with her every single time. Because what's going on across this country in certain states is abysmal. It's ridiculous, to say the least. Shout out to Joseph Orsini with the $5 super chat. Says, if trans women had to actually compete against other trans women, they might lose. They don't want that. Yeah, you got a point there. You got a point there. It's really sickening, man. It really is. It's so unfortunate. So unfortunate. And this is how you know when somebody's got a hold of them. When they start coming out like this, when they start coming out supporting things that they know is wrong, this is when you know this is about the bag. I want to switch gears for a quick second. You know what? I was going to switch gigs. You know what? I'm not. We're going to hold off. We got my guy Jason going to pull up here in a little bit. It looks like we are a couple of supers off. How far are we off from a Q&A session with Jason from Dear Woke Christian? I'm not sure exactly how far off we are. But let me see if I can pull this up. All right, yeah. So we are, looks like we are about 9 super chats away, I think. Let me check the goal. Should have put it on there for 2 hours, not 1. My bad. All right. We're gonna pull my guy Jason up once he pulls up. And oh, boom. He sent me the link here. All right, perfecto. Sorry about this, guys. We are working on some things in real time here. Shout out to Paula Hegler with the $2 super chat. Says a woman allowed to go to the Citadel Citadel, downhill from there. Okay. I'm a little off. Shout out to Marilyn with the $20 super chat. Thank you very much. Or super sticker, more or less. Thank you very much. And shout out to Abraxas2121 with the $5 super chat. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for supporting the channel. 460 likes out of 522 people watching, with 510 people up in here right now. Please make sure y'all hit that like button for me. Please make sure y'all hit that like button for me if you haven't done so already. What up, T.A. Caskey? How you doing this morning, brother? Thank you very much. All right. Yeah. Hey, Playboy Billy, the target looks like it's not moving because I only set it for an hour and I should have set it for 2. But it looks like we are just from the goal, just so you guys know. I want to make sure that I'm right on this. All right, looks like we are 1 off just based off of my count here on my side of things. But I do appreciate you guys supporting the channel. Definitely appreciate that. And give me 1 second. I want to pull this up for you guys, so you all can see. And then we'll get Jason up in here in a quick second. Shout out to Pam Westcott with the $2 super sticker. Thank you very much. Yeah, goal is hit. Thank you very much, man. Thank you. We'll do a Q&A with Jason when he pulls up for you guys. So you can put questions in the chat. It doesn't have to be a super chat. I'll make sure I'll try my best. And Blues, if you guys can catch the questions as they come in, once Jason pulls up and he once we kind of get there, we can catch the questions. That way I don't miss any of the questions as they come through. But I want you guys to see this. Brother Jason sent this over to me, and I want you guys to check this out.
After hours of standing off, this situation has now rapidly deteriorated. The LAPD moving in on horseback, firing rubber bullets at protesters, moving them on through the heart of LA.
You just shut the fuck up! You okay?
I'm good.
Are you okay?
Let me pull my guy up here. What's going on, Jason? How you doing this morning, brother?
Grace and peace, my friend. How are you, my friend?
Man, I'm doing well, man. Thank you very much. Before you get started, let me show some love to some of my super chatters here real fast.
One second,
Pam Westcott.
My ear twice. Okay, go ahead.
All right, no worries. Pam Westcott, thank you for the $2 super chat, super sticker. Thank you, Matt Green, for the $2 super sticker. And thank you, Wendy, for the $2 super chat. Says, you are a gift, Brother Wise. Thank you very much. Appreciate you pulling up. And thank you very much for pulling up this morning, Jason. And for sending that clip over, man. That montage, man, that's freaking phenomenal. I'm sitting there watching this yesterday and it was just like, just shaking my head. Like, this is insane. This is crazy.
Yeah, and somebody asked for it. If you shoot me an email, dearwokec@gmail.com, I'll send you the link. You can have it. I was watching because you've heard of these protesters stopping the ICE deportations. It happened in Boston. I want to say, of course, it happened in LA. There's some other places that has happened as well, even to the point that people have been interfering with like true crimes being criminals being detained. And watching this, man, this is scary how crazy this is gone. And like the part that I really was like heartbroken about was watching the police riding under the under the overpass, and them just chucking, like you see a police officer moving about 50 miles per hour and somebody just throws a brick and it just shatters the whole windshield. Like that could have easily killed that officer and somebody alongside him. And mind you, the other traffic is still moving on the other side. As bad as this looks, I want to give hat tip to the police. I don't know if I could have that level of restraint. I mean, I'm driving and you're throwing bricks while I'm driving, or because you see the police officers, those 6 police cars that are like stuck on the highway and just getting assaulted. The officers are hiding under the overpass.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know if I would have that level of restraint. I just don't. I don't know. And I mean,
not at all.
I might have to, it just might have to be what it is. But that's just horrible to see. And the reason I wanted to talk about it, I'm glad that you brought me on this morning to talk about it, is this could be anybody's city. This could be Atlanta in a heartbeat. This could be Boston in a nanosecond. New York, y'all sitting on a powder keg. Chicago, I'm surprised it ain't already went up in flames. So was it Portland, Seattle? This could be anybody else's city. So I do think we should take some time to look at this, unpack this, and address it, because we could literally see this happening in your little peaceful hamlet that you're in now. It could turn into a hellscape by this evening.
Yeah, definitely. And it wouldn't take much.
No.
But in your opinion, what is your thoughts on this? Do you think from Democrats and from the liberals, the people, the elected officials, that is, not the people on the ground, but the elected officials, do you think this is what they want? Do you think that they are hoping, fingers crossed, maybe praying to whatever demigod they pray to, that this thing gets to a point to where it escalates to where maybe, someone loses their life on that side of things? And this is the molehill that they can stand on and say, look, I told you he was willing to send out, troops or, the National Guard or whoever, to attack American citizens. Do you think this is by design?
Oh, there's no question about it. I have no question in my mind that this is by design. It's simply because I'm going to send you a link. There's a YouTuber who, you don't have to pull it up yet if you don't want to, but there's a YouTuber that lives in LA, does great commentary, and he's moved out of LA proper and he lives out in the outskirts now. And he's given a commentary. He literally did one yesterday about this, and it's called LA Just Surrendered. And he has the clips of these elected officials, Gavin Newsom, Bass, as well as other elected officials, talking and literally defending the rioters, the anarchists, not the police, not the federal agents, not the ICE agents, but they're literally Maxine Waters. Why did the National Guard come in with guns? Why do they need guns? Like, ma'am. So no, I don't think that they want America to be successful. I don't think they want this effort, America First effort, to be successful at all. I would be hard pressed. You'd be hard pressed to convince me otherwise, because what they're doing and what they're standing for, what they're pushing and what they're promoting is everything against you and me, American citizens that want. I mean, they're what they call them, Angelinos. There are Angelinos there that can't go to work today because of this craziness. that are
Yeah.
going to have a problem. Today's the 9th, and they probably was scraping by with their money to make sure they had all their expenses and stuff taken care of, and now they're going to be impeded by that because of
Yeah.
these people. And how are you supporting the Angelinos that are doing the right thing? And you hear Karen Bass talk about we're here to support all Angelinos no matter how they got here, and she talks about the hundreds of thousands that are in Los Angeles that are illegal. But what about those that are legal? Like, why are we dying on the sword? And I'm not saying that you should mistreat those who are there illegally. They are humans, image bearers of God. We do want to make sure we respect them, but they are violating the law. But law-abiding citizens, no, y'all can't even drive on the underpass. I mean, they throwing your Lime scooters on the highway and craziness. So,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, the other thing too is the business owners. I mean, you talk about the people going to work, but what about the Angelinos out there, that are business owners, that have had to either board up their business or just basically had their business just taken over, just looted and everything else. Like what about those people?
And like even in the montage, you see the big iconic donut shop right there with that giant donut. Ain't nobody making no donuts over there today. And
no, not today.
No,
not at all.
today. And so, that kind of stuff like that, man, you're not concerned about. So to the point, to answer your question, yes, I do think they want total and utter anarchy. I believe they want total and utter chaos. And let's also not forget, just about 5 months ago, Los Angeles was having a little bit of a heat wave, if you get what I'm saying. They had the fires. So they're still recovering from that, and now they have this. So they can't catch a break, and they probably need to they can't catch a break because they got evil leaders. But I digress.
Yeah,
There's no
I mean,
way
when you
around
have when you have a Karen Bass who is a known Marxist, known communist. I mean, her ties go all the way back to some pretty heinous acts, against the federal government, at that, and people still voted for her en masse. Maybe a lot of folks didn't know, who she was and what she was about. I would be hard pressed to not believe that, because I think out there in California, I think they know exactly what they're doing when they support these types of people,
for sure.
But just watching this, man, and you're absolutely right. This could happen in any major city across the country, and unfortunately, in our country, every major city is liberal led. Just about
every
probably
major,
95% of them.
Yeah, every big major city, even in your red states. Your major city. I mean, Georgia's red. Atlanta's run by a Democrat.
Atlanta's it's blue state, a blue city. Yeah.
And so, and usually the inner cities are usually led by Democrat. No matter how red the state is or the region is, even most of the time. That's unfortunate. That's unfortunately true. I remember during the Summer of Love a couple summers ago, when they were rioting downtown, and I was like, yo, I cannot believe that I know that place. I know where the CNN Center is. I know where Phillips Arena is. Hey, man, I know. And they were rioting down there just because they had nothing better to do, idiots. But to the point that I want to point out, like, this could be anyone. This could be anyone. Don't think you're safe in Florida. Y'all know you ain't safe in Texas. Just give it up if you think you're safe in Michigan. This could be anywhere. Nebraska, look, y'all could have this too. Y'all can catch the smoke up there in North Dakota, just like everybody else in Virginia. This is something that we need to talk about and be willing to say, yo, this is a problem that we need adult leadership in this thing, for sure.
Absolutely. I do have a question from one of the people that dropped the super chat. And then for any of you guys, you don't have to drop a super chat, but if you have any questions for Jason, just let me know just throw it in the chat. Blues, if I miss it, just make sure y'all catch it and kind of throw it back in the chat so I can make sure that I see it. But somebody asked, about FBAs or Black people, are they a part of this particular fight? In your opinion, one, do you think they are a part of it? Do you think they should be a part of it?
I don't like that foundational that FBA, tether, Pan-African. I'm sorry. I'm old. And I just don't have enough time to be worried about segmenting all of this, because it sounds a whole lot like high school. And I was glad to tip my hat to high school So I'm not worried about the Jets and the Sharks and the T-Birds. I don't have time for that. I'm a grown man. So I know people that really are embedded in the tether, FBA, whatever. Hey, and God bless you. God bless you. God keep you. I don't care about it. Should Americans be concerned that laws are being trampled upon? That's the question I want to ask you. Does it matter if my neighbor, if I'm sitting here on my porch, my neighbor next door is white, my neighbor over here is white. If I'm just sitting here on my porch drinking my coffee, minding my own business, and I see somebody roll up on my neighbor's yard and kick in the door, and I hear Kirsten and her family screaming, and I hear pops and stuff like that, what should I do?
Call the police first.
Right, I'm gonna call the police. I should be involved in it. I should be concerned.
Absolutely, it's your neighborhood. Absolutely.
Then forget all the little segmentations, all the little hyper link people. I don't have time for it. I'm just too old for it. I got to utilize my brain capacity like I can. So with that being the case, should Americans be concerned about Americans' laws being trampled upon? That's the question I push back to you, and you have my answer from there. There you go.
I love it. Yeah, the division. I haven't. I understand the difference, and I understand the difference. Especially, I mean, I'm sure you do as well. Being a black man in Georgia. Yeah, I know you understand it, and you see it, and it just seems like just another way to divide the people.
Right.
And what we do know is, we understand that we have one side that is all about division in however many segments they can kind of divide the people. They want to do it. And it's a control mechanism. And unfortunately, you have a lot of people that are playing into their hands by going into the different, the tethers or well, you're black, but you're not an American black, and you're black, but you're from here, there, or wherever. It's just another way to divide, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I mean, and for what reason? Like, what is the advantage of me segmenting? Let's just say, for example, I don't think. Well, you know what? Okay, I'm from Ghana. I came here from Ghana. What's the purpose of you segmenting me and me not being a part of the black people here in America because I migrated here 3 years ago with my family? What's the purpose of that? I don't understand. I really don't, because we do high school differently in Ghana. And guess what? This sounds a lot like high school. It's not like, I'm sorry. You just need something you just want to be upset about something. No, just stop it. Good questions.
Yeah. You're absolutely right there. You're absolutely right. You get no argument from me on that. And I think it's something to keep us fighting with each other.
Let's talk about that.
That's really what it's about, to keep us, at odds with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Opposed to like, one, really getting a full understanding of who the real enemy is, but two, I don't know how much, you've traveled, outside of the United States. But when you go to another country, they don't say that you are black or you are, they really, everywhere I've gone, it wasn't, oh, you're black or you're a black American. It's as soon as I open my mouth and they hear my accent, they say, oh, American.
American.
You know what I'm saying? They say American. Yeah. We over here divide ourselves. Everybody else, regardless of who you are, black, white, whatever, it don't matter. They just say American.
Yeah. I don't think they do that in France. I really don't think they do that in Southeast Asia. Maybe they do. And I could be wrong, and feel free to let me know. I do know there are some countries that they do segment people based upon skin complexion and such like that, in caste systems. I got you. But I don't think it is as prevalent as we do here. But, hey, but I will say even in that, it's still wrong. So because they do it in another country doesn't make it right in the other country or here. So therefore, how about we just stop? Like, at some point, somebody's going to have to be an adult and stop playing childish games. Yes, I did say that being racist, being partial in any way, shape, or form or measure is childish. It's kindergarten. Just go ahead and accept that you've moved up from kindergarten. You put away the sippy cup. You can now have an adult. You can actually have a big old Yeti and a big Stanley and be an adult and stop being childish. Because look at what's happened now in California. They spend so much time being childish. Now we got temper tantrums on the street with bottle rockets and bricks.
True. What do you think the end? What do you think the end outcome will be?
Total. Well, unless adults step in, if no adults step in, California will turn into the absolute, will be the Mad Max hellscape that everybody knows it to be. I thought it was interesting in the montage that we played. I hadn't heard people on motorcycles before, but some reason or other, there's a lot of people on dirt bikes, and you know that you see those in the Mad Max movies all the time. Those guys on the, I'm like, oh my gosh, they're preparing for the hellscape. If adults don't step in and quash this, and Californians start taking back their cities, their towns, their state from these lunatics, California is going to look. It may very well just go ahead and secede and just be its own little communist nation, a part of the United States of America. I mean, that's connected to the United States of America. That's it. Now, if adults step in and actually bring law and order back and start actually holding fast to the laws in place and not giving over. I mean, when you give over the police to the rioting anarchists, you can't expect good things to happen. But what I think it'll take this anarchy to come to Karen Bass's door. It'll take this anarchy to make its way to Gavin Newsom. And then all of a sudden it will be a problem. Then all of a sudden people will care. Then all of a sudden it'll be like, oh, we got to do something about it. Trump hasn't done enough about it and so forth. But unless adults step in, we're going to just have, we're watching Romper Room on Go Crazy, temper tantrums on aisle 4 in the cereal aisle. That's what we're watching. No, nothing else. That's all this is. And so it's sad to watch, but we'll continue. Go ahead.
Do you find it, I find it a little, I don't know if weird is the proper term, but we'll go with weird for right now.
You go weird.
That you have people out there protesting to stay in America, but you have a Mexican flag that you're waving.
They want to send you back to Mexico because it's not, this is an invasion. Tell the truth. This is an invasion. Under any other circumstances, if we just wrote down on a piece of paper what we're seeing, you would say, oh, this is a military invasion, not some kind of peaceful, mostly peaceful protest. So I think we just don't want to admit, like, this is an invasion. Like, you got able-bodied men that are military able bodies running around California carrying a Mexican flag and other flags, by the way, protesting. Sir, this is an invasion. This is nothing more. Like, you can say it till the cows come home, make yourself feel good, say, oh, it's a peaceful protest. Feel free. Make yourself feel good. But when they come knocking on your door, please don't ask me to change my mind. It's an invasion. That's all it is. That's all it is.
Yeah. You would think, I'm just saying, this is just me. If you wanted to stay in the country, you would think that you would be peacefully protesting, waving American flags, saying that, hey, we're here to assimilate and we're after the American dream, no different than any other person that's in this country. You would think that that would be the route that they would take. I'm just saying.
No, that would be the route. But the issue is not. It's not to be peaceful. It is to be lawless. That's it. They just want to be lawless. And that's going back to the question that you asked a moment ago. Is this by design? Yeah, the idea is anarchy and lawlessness. If you do, I'm sure you've done the research on various communist takeovers. They need this type of shenanigans going on in order for it to get to the fever pitch where people will just do anything to anything for order, anything for a semblance of law and order. Take all of my rights as long as we don't have to worry about getting long knifed in the backyard. So no, this is by design, and you can't tell me that it's not. Like, why would you think that this is what is good about this? And then my other question is, what did we do? We being the people on the right. How have we brought this about? What did we do by wanting people to be in this country? So because immediately they'll blame, oh, no. All we did was vote for a man who said that he wanted to make America safe again and get people out of the country that are not supposed to be here. So what did we do wrong? I want to hear, because I can show you 95 things that you did wrong, from bottle rockets to bricks to throwing lime scooters on the highway. What did we do wrong? See, therein is the rub. And I think we have to be willing and able to have that discussion and push it back and say, no, we didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah.
No, I want my kids to live safely. I'm getting ready to celebrate President Firstborn leaving from here to go to college. I want her to come back home safe.
Absolutely.
I want her to be up there safe. I want all of that stuff. And I want the same thing for your kids. And I want the same thing for your neighborhoods and such of that nature. And if removing people in the country that are here illegally means that your family can be safe, my family can be safe, my wife can go do her things, and all of us can be happy and grow and prosper and enjoy what God has given us in this country. Yeah, see the door. See the door. Don't let it hit you.
Absolutely.
So what did we do wrong again? I'm waiting. Let me know.
Yeah. In the chat, man, if you think on our end there's something that we could have did better or maybe more of, I'd love to hear from you guys in the chat.
Let me stop for a second. Now I do understand. Sure, they're going to bring up the ancillary story of the young college student up here that got deported, and she's a college student, and that probably was a little messy. That probably wasn't the best look. I got you. I totally get that. But that's one situation out of hundreds, maybe even thousands of people, gnarly fellows that needed to get out of this country. So don't get hung up on the one or two missteps, because we're imperfect. We don't do everything perfectly as much as we want it to be perfect. So don't give me that. Give me the outright intentional things that were wrong, and I'll dearwokesy@gmail.com.
So we got a couple of super chats to read real fast. Amnithis Angel with a $5 super chat says, it's wonderful to see our godly YouTube brothers collaborating. Grace and peace to you, righteous influencers. Stay strong in the faith and pray continually. Absolutely. And I just want to make sure I reiterate, thank you very much for the super chat, and that we also reiterate the fact that we got to keep our law enforcement members, the LEOs, the law enforcement officers out there, man, keep them held up in prayer. They need it right now. Their families as well, because I couldn't even imagine having a kid out there, in this, not knowing, if they're safe. I couldn't even imagine it. Yeah. Shout out to my guy Jeff over at It's Not Your Fault Al-Anon Recovery Channel with the $11 super chat. Says the shenanigans always happen in the gun-free zones, states and cities. You won't see this garbage in an area where people carry and police aren't handcuffed. You're absolutely right there, Jeff. There's some agreement there to an extent, and I'm going to let you answer that. I got one more, and then I'll let you answer that, because it sounds like you might have maybe some disagreement there.
Oh no! Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I got one more, and then I'll let you go. Jeff with the $11 super chat from It's Not Your Fault Al-Anon Recovery Channel. He says, I'm a second-generation American. All grandparents born in Italy. Grandparents refused to speak Italian around my father, so he would learn English only. Patriots. That's what you call assimilation there.
Absolutely.
Go ahead, Jason. I thought
no. I was amening that. I just didn't want to overspeak you. I agree. If you can pull that back up, I just want to point out something. Okay. It's also very interesting. Like in the last election, Kamala Harris only won states that didn't have voter ID. So it just seems like something that
I'm a little nefarious there.
Yeah, you can't work your way around that. You cannot work your way around that. That there seems to be a hand in hand between voter IDs and clear and safe elections. There seems to be a hand in hand in Second Amendment violations and taking away gun rights and anarchy in the streets. Now, to that point, I don't think we'll see that here in Georgia. They're gonna have to work hard. I mean, it might turn into a Second Amendment exchange, because I don't think it'll be like they have in LA. Because again, we just carry for carry's sake.
Yes,
we just carry down here for nobody's sake. I'll tell you a story. A friend of mine is involved in education, and they're building a education facility in near a housing development. The housing commission wants to put apartments on top of the education facility. So it's a single floor education facility, and they want to put housing on top of it. And we just laughed for probably about 3 hours, because in this area that they are in, they have legalized Mary Jane, the wacky tobacco. And I'm like, So you want to allow people to potentially be in their apartment because you can't drive and take it in. You're not supposed to be out in the open taking it in. So you got to be in your house. So I can't be in my house because there's a school under me. And I said, you do realize that even worse than that, that would impede my Second Amendment rights to be able to carry, because we carry here in Georgia. So you would be potentially having somebody upstairs that could carry over a school. Nothing could go wrong with that. Nothing could go wrong with that. Clearly, they're not going to do that. They're not going to do it. But I just like, y'all don't think about some of these small little nuances that play a role in that. But I just thought it was hilarious, though.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Georgia's different. Eric said something, and he had mentioned this. He said back in 2020 in DC, the craziness, the anarchy came to the mayor's door. But again, that's another place where, borderline takes an act of Congress for you to exercise your Second Amendment right there. There's a lot of hoops, a lot of red tape that you got to jump through, in order to that. And DC, again, is one of those cities that is, one of those anti-2A cities. And it's one of the most dangerous. I mean, for it to be the capital, it's one of the most dangerous cities in the country. It's up there. It's up there. It's in that top 10 list for the capital. It's crazy. They just had 2 Jewish students killed out there about 2 weeks ago. I don't know if you heard about that.
Yeah.
But a guy flew in from Chicago, and the mayor, nothing, crickets, said nothing about it. Was supposed to actually go to an event. It was a Jewish event. Not that it was celebrating the lives of those 2 people, but she was supposed to go there and speak. And she neglected. She chose not to show up before, and she didn't come out and say why, but
we know
a lot of us think the reason why she didn't go out there is because she didn't want to placate, to her base. She don't want to show that there is any allegiance, to the Jews, in the city, in comparison to those that are, the pro-Hamas and those pro-Palestinian folks, that for whatever reason have infiltrated the Democrat Party at this point.
No, you're 100% correct. And, I'm not an elected official. I do know elected officials, and they do run a very tight line between where they stand, their own personal beliefs, and being a politician or doing what's right for everybody in their particular constituency. So I can understand that there's a give and take, a tug and such like that. And so I'm gonna put that over there, but it also still is doing the right thing, though. And at the end of the day, the right thing needs to be done. And we can look here in California, the right thing needs to be done. Adults need to step in and quash this, aisle 3 cereal aisle temper tantrums going on. They need to quash that in a uniform way. Like the governor, the mayors, everybody needs to be saying the same thing. But when you got governors and mayors saying something totally different than what the Angelinos want done, that's crazy. And that's where we end up here, where we are now in this pickle, well, they're in this pickle of watching their city just burn. And wasn't there a movie Escape from LA? I think this is what it's going to turn into.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
yeah, it was. Wasn't it Escape from LA?
Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
That's what's going to be.
I got a question. Got a question for you from Quincy James. I don't know if it's a question, or a statement, but he says, we beat racism. It's over now. Captain America is black, and the new Black Panther is white. What are your thoughts?
Okay.
Let me repeat that. Let me repeat that for those that didn't hear it. We beat racism. It's over now. It's now over. Captain America is black, and the new Black Panther is white.
I love Quincy. Shout out to you, Quincy. Okay, I'm a comic book fan, and I'm really holding my peace to not turn this into a tirade about it. However, sadly, Marvel and DC have done exactly what everybody expected them to do. To rather than give good stories and rather than give compelling characters that really are noteworthy, they've just decided to go with the lowest hanging fruit, race swap. Sam Wilson Captain America was a very short-lived product, and the white Black Panther is an Elseworld story that has gotten a lot of a lot of attention because it is the natural regression. Because immediately people are in their feelings because Black Panther is supposed to be black. Well, no, because remember, it's just a fictional character. Y'all said that it didn't matter. It didn't matter. So now I do expect this to actually. I don't think that it's going to happen, but I won't be surprised if you have I won't be surprised if all other characters do get this race swap and they do turn it back. They go back. And I've said this on my channel so many times. There are so many good characters that Marvel and DC already have as their own IPs. They could just go crazy with great stories that they don't have to race swap, they don't have to gender swap, any of that kind of foolishness. They already have fantastic characters. The reason why Marvel and DC and Disney as a whole.
I was going to say Disney as a whole, right?
Yeah. The reason they do race swap, I'm going to tell you this right now. Y'all can take this to the bank. My name is Jason, dearwokec@gmail.com. The reason why Marvel and DC keep race swapping foundational characters. That's why you see a black Superman, a black Batman, a black Amazonian. The reason they do that is because they are tacitly saying the only valid Batman character in Gotham is Bruce Wayne, and he's white. So therefore, we must swap him for Tyrone Jenkins because otherwise there's no other valid character. The same thing they say about Kal-El, also known as Clark Kent. The only valid superhero character, Superman type character, is Clark Kent. So therefore, we must swap him for Leroy Johnson. Otherwise, he's not a valid character. And what they're basically saying is there's no other black characters that are valid. But if you just take the time, go do a Wikipedia search. I did this on my show a couple of months back, and just search DC comic, black DC comic characters. Your mind is going to be blown. Same thing with Marvel. There's so many black characters and other nationalities, mind you. There's a ton of other nationalities. So the only reason they do this type of stuff is because they know it's going to get buzz. They know people are going to talk about it. Nobody's going to care. It's not going to be part of canon. And this the white T'Challa or Chad, whatever his name is going to be, that character is never going to matter. Just like all these characters they roll out that are a part of the Alphabet Mafia in June, it never matters. It's just dumb.
Yeah.
And the problem is, and this is my last point on this, the problem is they don't hire people that actually love the IP, that actually care about the IP. They don't care about them. They just hire somebody like, oh, you check some boxes. You got 5 intersectionalities. Let me bring you over here and here. Let me give you this very precious character. Let me give you Iron Man and go do whatever you want to do. Oh, now we got Riri Jenkins, and nobody's gonna care. Let me give you, and it's sad because, and I've said this before, comic books are usually written on a higher reading level than newspapers.
Than the news. Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
I learned how to read higher levels by reading comic books in middle school and high school. So, I mean, the vocabulary and the concepts are usually way higher than your normal newspaper.
Yeah.
So instead of allowing a new generation of readers to be exposed to higher reading levels with something that they would enjoy, no, you're giving them trash. Oh, and the writing now has deteriorated. I can't necessarily say that it's really good. Go find some 80s and 90s comics. Your kids will be great. So I think it's funny, and I'm waiting to see if the Chad Black Panther actually takes root. You know, he rolls around some White Claw and such like that. He's having yacht parties at the lake. Once this happens, I'm here for it because I want to see what black people say. Because
you know what's gonna happen.
Oh,
you know what's gonna happen.
But all I'm gonna do, I already got it played. I'm gonna play the repeat of "It Doesn't Matter." It's just a fictional character. That's what y'all said when they made a black Superman. When somebody said black.
Well, I mean, think about this. They last year was it Little Mermaid? You know, they cast Halle Berry.
It was 3 years ago.
Was that 3 years ago? Okay, man, time be flying. Okay, so 3 years ago they had Halle Bailey in there. I think Halle Bailey, however you say her name. Then they put out the new super woke. What was that?
Snow White.
Snow White with the 7 dwarfs. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
These are fictional characters. You know what I'm saying?
Characters, right?
Hey, you know, folks are gonna lose their minds if they come out with the white Black Panther. Like, folks are gonna lose their mind.
It's in a comic book. It's in Elseworld. I don't think they're going to do it. But let me tell you this though, and this is the sin. The sin is representation. The sin is that I need to be represented in. I need to see somebody that looks like Jason in order for me to relate to the story.
Yeah.
But when you think about it, what is the story of Superman? It is an individual that is from another place, learning to work with and operate in his now adopted world, and be heroic in this space. Why do I need Superman to look like me for me to understand that?
You don't.
You don't.
You don't.
But see, but they make representation is the highest good. Representation.
Well, that's that CRT movement.
Yes.
That they've pushed, because I know growing up, and I'm sure you as well, I grew up, you know, playing sports and things of that nature, you know, and early on in my life, you know, I played quarterback, and I idolized some black quarterbacks, but like my favorite quarterback from back in the day was like John Elway. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
Like, I really rock with John Elway, just his style and the way he played. And it didn't matter that he was a white guy. It didn't matter. I just liked the way he played. I loved the way he played the game. Did not matter to me. But the CRT movement has really pushed to make people believe that they need some form of, you know, racial representation in order for a kid or anybody else to identify or relate to, you know, a person. I reject that whole process, but wholeheartedly I reject it. I mean, it's crazy.
And there she goes. What's going on?
Hey, what's up, Crystal? How you doing today?
How are you?
I'm good. Good morning. How are you both doing?
We're jamming on the
Doing well. Doing well.
I missed the link because I was over here ranting on TikTok about all the craziness that's happened in the last whatever for 36, 48 hours. I was ranting like crazy.
Well, rant on. Well,
yeah. Well, get your rant on. Before you go, I do got a couple super chats I want to read, and I definitely want to hear what your thoughts are. We got Valerie Allen with the $2 super sticker. Thank you very much, Valerie, for supporting the channel, and shout out to Ed Marr with the $5 super chat. Says 18 U.S. Code Section 2101 outlaws any form of starting, encouraging, or participating in a riot. Thank you very much, Ed, for the $5 super chat. Thank you very much. All right. So, Crystal,
please.
What are your thoughts?
About everything? I think people are crazy. Okay. I'm going to say people are crazy because everything that you talked about, that was what I was ranting about over there. I was saying that, you know, the riots that are going on in LA is just despicable. I'm very irritated by how they're trying to turn this into a Trump issue. And instead of trying to protect the American people, I'm looking at it as they're pushing the ideology of believe what I tell you, not what you see. So no, there aren't riots in California. We have it under control, yet things are burning up all over the place, right? And I'm like, stop the foolishness. No one is dumb. I was even reading a list. I don't know if you saw it, but I was reading a list of the people that they were actually trying to remove from California. And these were hardened criminals. So the fact that they were fighting against that doesn't make sense to me. Then I was ranting about the fact that because these people are some of these, I call them paid actors. Okay, they are paid protesters. They are paid all of that. They're out there. They even went up to Minneapolis attacking the DEA and the ATF. Like, why are you attacking them? They were doing a bust, but because people aren't thinking, they're just told what to do and they just go do it. That's why you're seeing this bad behavior. And I'm just, to me, I don't want to hear anybody else tell me that Kamala is competent, Gavin is competent, because if I'm going to question your sensibility, if you tell me these people are competent, if you tell me Mayor Bass is competent, I'm going to question who you are, because I'm not sure if you're thinking straight. Okay. Then I was ranting about Simone Biles because I'm like, I feel like she got the tap on the shoulder. That's what I call it. The tap on the shoulder. We need you to go out there and stand for foolishness because that's what happened. That's literally what happened. They decided that they were going to have her speak up to defend because Riley Gaines has so much traction. So many women are saying this is unacceptable. So many women are saying, I don't want men in my sports. I don't want men in my bathrooms. I don't want men in my locker rooms. I don't want men in my spa. And that is why we have men's rooms and women's restrooms, men's sports and women's sports, men's spas and women. Like, we have these things for a reason, because you can't have all of us together. So now that somebody has a change in their mental space, I'm supposed to accommodate them. That's absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And the truth bomb that you just dropped about the Hollywood with them talking about Ryan Gosling as Black Panther. Listen, I'm for it, because I want to see the reaction. You know, I like to smoke sometimes. I like to smoke. I want the reaction. I want to see how people react to that, because to me, the way people are like, no, you can't do this. No, you can't do it. It's just hilarious to me. So to see him, Ryan Gosling is new black, that will be the most hilarious thing. And I want to see people's reaction, because it will be funny. I honestly think it'll be funny.
It would be funny. The problem is, these people won't take it. It won't be like, okay, it's funny. We can have dialogue about it. We can argue about it online. They will take it to levels that, I mean, we see this already with what they're doing to these ICE agents, trying to get their addresses and stuff like that. They'll take it to another place. And I don't want that to be the story of how superhero movies and superhero content deteriorates, because these clowns attack people because they disagree with a casting choice. Which the bad thing is, everybody knows I'm not lying. Everybody knows, like, yeah, that could happen. So now I don't really, again, it's an else world. They're not going to do it. But yeah, because you won't see Jim Bob's and Sally Jane's out here protesting that they done made Little Mermaid black. You won't see that, but you will see Tyrone and Lakeisha out here riding. They can't spell Black Panther. So, like, let's just stop being like this. Let's stop doing this. Let's just stop it. Let's just stop it.
Oh my goodness, it's so true though. But I mean,
it's like the double standard. I don't even know. We might be on quadruple standard at this point. It's just like, again, we need adult supervision, and we can't do this on our own. We need somebody adult to say, stop, just stop it. Go make it. And again, if we want to do entertainment and say, hey, entertainment, stop repackaging existing characters. That's it. We do not need a black Wonder Woman. We don't need it. Nobody needs a white cyborg. We don't need that. Nobody needs it. Again, if you just do a Wikipedia search, y'all, your mind will be blown. You'll know what I mean by outright lazy content and lazy writers. There are so many characters that you've never even heard of that Marvel has access to, that Disney has access to, DC the same thing. And you'll be like, why are they not using them? Matter of fact, okay. This is how you know the whole Little Mermaid thing was not about representation. Okay. Representation would be a black female, right? Because the only way little black girls will know who they are is to see a little black mermaid, fictional character. Is that fair? Thumbs up in the chat if you agree. That would have been representation, right? What if I told you there is a black mermaid in the Little Mermaid universe? There was already one. Her name was Gabriella. Oh, and watch this. Watch this. You ready? You ready? Because we got to get all our intersectional points. So she got the black female intersectional point, right? Those two, right? She was hard of hearing. She was deaf. So she would have got three intersectional points. She's winning the Victim Olympics. She's on the main podium. And nobody ever, I'm like, so they didn't need to do Ariel and make her black. No, you already had a black character.
Somebody said, next, you know, somebody on my TikTok, because they listened, they said, how about a white Malcolm X? Like,
facts and evidence. Go ahead and do it. It's gonna happen. Go ahead and do it. Go ahead and do a white.
People would lose it.
The
white
serious.
Malcolm.
Yes, that would
better have a man bun too. I want a man bun and with a little. I want a goatee. I want a man bun, and he has a where's the lumberjack pullover and has a soy latte. That's what I want. Yep. Facts and evidence. Come on.
But I think
representation.
No one. I keep saying I don't understand why we keep remaking stories, do something different. Is there something wrong? People have lost their creativity or something?
You didn't hear me say they're lazy.
It's laziness. Exactly. It's laziness. Why do you think all the music sound the same? You know, I mean, That's why they keep repackaging old movies over and over again. It's laziness. It's just pure laziness, and it's a path of least resistance. Hey, we'll just throw a new face on an old story, and we'll toss it out there, and hopefully it'll make some money for us. But it's not. But the thing is it's not working, and we're watching. I mean, Disney's been losing money like crazy. I mean, they've been losing money, and they've kind of ruined the the Marvel universe. They've kind of ruined it.
No.
I'm at a point now where
you got to stop
I
saying
won't even
kinda.
watch it.
You got to stop saying kinda. They have ruined
Just say
it.
that they have ruined it. Just say they have ruined it. Yeah,
They
they've
did the
trashed
same
it.
thing.
Yeah, you're
Star
absolutely
Wars,
right.
the same
Yeah,
thing. With
they
Star
did.
Wars. They're
Because
going to trash Doctor
they've
Who.
been woke. When you decide when you decided we needed to be woke, instead of just letting entertainment just be entertainment, stop pushing narratives inside of there. Just let people enjoy what they enjoy. But no, they decided we need to push this in. As I said, we keep thinking that what people do behind closed doors should decide if they should be in a movie. Like, I don't understand. That's none of my business. I don't care what you do. That's your business. That's between you, God, and that other person. That ain't got nothing to do with me. So us doing whole movies and including that as a speaking point, a main character, scenes, that doesn't make sense to me. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Wise.
Jason, what are your thoughts on the situation up in Minnesota? I don't know if you got a chance to hear, what I was talking about in reference to Simone Biles jumping on with her Captain Save 'em cape on, for the trans community. But what are your thoughts on that?
Whenever a movement, and please, if you are a highly melanated female in the chat, highly melanated Black woman in the chat, I'm about to make you mad. So dearwokec@gmail.com. All right, get ready.
Not me.
When they need a movement to move in a certain direction, when they need to maybe they're losing steam, maybe people are not interested, maybe people pushing back. What they will do, as Crystal just said, you'll get a tap on the shoulder to the Black woman to get them to defend the indefensible. Just think about it. You have an attractive Black woman married to a Black man who has Black babies, arguing, and is an accomplished athlete in female sports, arguing and defending why I should be able to compete in female sports. That's not organic. That is not organic. I'm not trying to say that Simone Biles is just an NPC. I'm just saying that she's a non-playable character, and she's just doing exactly what they're telling her to do. There's no way you can convince me that that was an organic thought for her. Now, maybe some other NPCs, maybe they did, but you can't tell me that she just came up with this idea. Let me get in a fight with this white woman, because again, the optics is going to be there.
Yes.
You got the white black optic, all that kind of jazz like that. I think Reigns is Southern, and so we get the north south dichotomy there as well, and more people of less melanin are going to be standing behind and pushing Reigns. Of course, Black women are going to be pushing for Simone Biles. This is a game, y'all. I really hope y'all understand. When I said this is high school, I really am not playing. This is really high school. This is us versus them, the cool kids, the mean girls, this is all this is, the jocks. This is it, the nerds. This is all this is high school for adults.
It is.
And I hope that y'all don't want to play this game. I hate that she fell into this, and it's not going to go well for her legacy as an athlete, because people are going to lose hope in this and lose interest in her, because now you're like, oh, now you just a race pimp too. You talking the same dumb stuff. You are denying observable reality, just like all the other people. Now you ain't about nothing. And then the best you're going to be is a mouthpiece for the Democrat Party out here protesting, doing dumb. That's what it's going to end up being, because nobody else is going to listen to her, and she's not going to have anything else for us.
Yeah, I mean, credibility kind of shot at this point. When you jump out there on that limb, and actually go against an objective truth. I mean, this isn't like some subjective type situation. Yeah. Like, we can all see that. I mean, I want to pull this up, man, real fast. And Crystal, I'll let you get in there because I know you had something. But this particular individual here, Marissa, real name Charlie, pitched a 7-inning shutout to lead to Champlain Park to a 6-0 Minnesota Girls State Championship. Now, mind you, this isn't the first. Now, when you start talking about no-no, Jason, I don't know how much you know about baseball. Crystal, I don't know how much you know about baseball or softball or you know, these types of sports. But when you start talking about no-nos, you know, no-hitters and shutouts, these aren't normal occurrences. You know what I'm saying? These are career feats when they do happen. This dude has had multiples throughout. Matter of fact, before this game, he had 2 shutouts back to back. Pitched 21 consecutive innings. I mean, he's just striking these chicks out left and right, and they're touting them like, oh my gosh, this is the greatest feat that we've ever seen before, you know, in the history of softball. I mean, this dude he's doing something that one person said is basically a statistical anomaly to pitch 2 back-to-back doubleheader shutouts. These are no-nos, no-hitters. These aren't things that happen. Like if you have a no-hitter in baseball, it's a career feat to happen. Nolan Ryan has 7 of them. Nolan Ryan goes down as the greatest pitcher of all time ever to do it. He only has 7. This dude had 2 of them in the same day.
He was loose, man. That arm was loose, man. He's like, man, put me in, coach. My arm is loose. Let's go.
Like, come on, man. I mean, the person, they said it was a statistical anomaly. Like, you'll never see anything like this again.
It's almost like there was it's almost like there was something unfair. Even it's almost like maybe there's possibly some reason why
something
that cannon shooting that softball was doing it. I wonder, was there any special mitigating circumstances that allowed this person to do that? I just wonder.
But you know, they have video. They have video of Simone Biles, because, you know, talking about that we should give them that space. But there's a video of Simone Biles where her and a male gymnast are trying to perform what each other does. So they're competing in a way. And when it came time for the floor exercise where the men usually do the windmills, he did his windmills, and then she was supposed to do the windmills, and she fell flat on her butt. So all I can see is if she had to compete against men as she is currently pushing, I don't think there would be a Simone Biles. Simone Biles would not even exist, because men would have blown her out if men were, as she says, allow these men to perform with women in sports. She would have never existed. So it's just irritating. And I knew she was part of the Democratic talking point when she won in the last Olympics, and she made it her business to say, let me go out and do my black job. That's what she came out and said. I don't know if y'all, I don't know why.
I remember that.
Jason, remember that? Yeah. And I was like, why would you even say that? Why would you even say that?
Let me also point out something.
I'm about to pull that up for you. While you talk, Jason, go ahead and talk. I want to pull this up.
Yep, I found it. Yeah, mute that just in case. All right, so let's see her do that.
Couldn't hang.
So I'm not really familiar with it, but has there ever been an active female athlete at the top of her game that is campaigning for the inclusion of men in her sport?
Not that I know.
It's always as far as and again, please in the chat, let me know if I'm missing something. It always seems like they're on the sunset of their careers, that they want to ruin it for those that are coming after them.
Yes.
Does that make sense? Like I can't imagine Simone Biles making this statement at the height, or as she's creeping up to the top of her career, saying, yeah, we need to get men up in here. I want to beat them too. You don't see that. I don't hear Clarissa Shields arguing for men and female boxing. No. But I guarantee she will once she hangs up her gloves.
Once she's done. Yeah.
Once she's done, and she won't get her head banged on the floor, then she will. You won't hear any women arguing for men in female mixed martial arts until they are outside the octagon. Yep. And I don't see that. Now, you always hear them talking trash about it, but you never hear, high level female athletes, not just, yahoos sitting around the bar, eating wings. But I'm talking about high level female athletes actually arguing for men to be in their space. It's always when they're outside of it. Just an observation.
Yeah,
you're spot on.
Absolutely. Got a couple super chats I want to read real fast. Shout out to Joseph Orsini with the $2 super chat. Says, I love Crystal, but I refuse to download TikTok. I understand. I understand.
No shame.
I understand. And shout out to Amethyst. I always
Angel.
mess that up. Amethyst Angel. Good Lord. My braces help. They also hurt me as
Oh,
well.
yeah,
But with the $5 super chat, how about the white version of Roots? Call it dry ice. Oh, Lord.
Amethyst Angel, bro, is a blessing to the channel. Let me tell you, their channel is blessed. She has some of the best comments.
Yeah, call it dry ice. It will be about the Viking Nordic roots. Oh my gosh.
That is hilarious.
I'm here for it. Okay.
I love it.
Why can't Hispanic people say they need representation in Roots?
I mean,
or let's touch a black sacred cow, the color purple. You know what? The color lavender. I need Becky and Samantha and come on. Why not? Why not?
I agree. Let's just throw it all in. There's so many things that we could do. Let's throw it all in, because I remember growing up and there was Pollyanna, and then they made the Black Polly. I remember that. It happens. Then they did it with Steel Magnolia. There was Steel Magnolia, and then there was the Black Steel Magnolia. I don't ever understand that.
What was the Black Steel Magnolia? Was that Brewster's Millions or something? Not Brewster's Millions.
They actually
they actually did a Black Steel Magnolias.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I'm
Just
sorry, man.
Just like they made a black single black female. They did.
And the problem is, a lot of the time they say, and you kind of hinted at it, Wise, they put a property out there and it does well. And instead of saying, okay, let's recreate it in another space, they just say, let's just reboot. Because you realize they're about to redo the whole Harry Potter and the whole Lord of the Rings series again.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's not even a good 20 years.
I mean, has it been 20 years since the first Harry Potter came out?
I don't know about Harry Potter, but Lord of the Rings came out in 2002.
Okay, so just barely.
Yeah, so I'm like, but wait, why do we need to redo it? Wait, what are we doing? Where's the digitally remastered? Where's the director's cut? Let me be quiet, because I actually have the director's cut. But like, why do we need to do this? And because they're gonna go to the south side of Middle Earth now, and they got Tyrone hobbits, and I'm like, wait, that's dumb. Stop it. And it just doesn't make sense. And instead of, I mean, there's a ton of IP around the Lord of the Rings. Same thing with the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. There's a ton of IP around that. Instead of that, we just gotta, you know what? There were black people in London and England being prosperous during the First World War. Okay.
I got a question for both of you guys. Seeing Simone Biles get on board with this this foolery,
right?
Do you think other black women are on board with it? Do you think you will see others get on board with it if they're not, to save face or to try to defend Simone Biles and others out there?
Yes, because I've seen black women, when I started talking about it on TikTok, they came into my live and they're saying how I don't like my race and so on and so forth. And I'm like, what does this have to do with race? I don't understand. This is about trying to put men.
Before you go, hold up. You're saying that they're saying that you don't like your race because
I don't agree with Simone Biles and support.
You don't agree with? Really? So you have to, in order to appreciate being a black woman, you have to get on board with everything that other black women support. Is that?
Let me.
Oh wow.
That's why I'm glad to be an 8%er here. I'm part of the 8%.
Let me make it sound even crazier. In order for you to appreciate your black wife, Wise, in order for me to appreciate my black wife, I have to support white men competing in sports against my daughters. Okay. If that's what you know what? I refuse to play the game. That's it. I don't play the game with you. Y'all can be over there, be crazy all you want. Okay, y'all have fun with it. Knock yourself out. Whatever. Whatever.
Wow. So they really went there with you? Like, yes, hey, you are being disrespectful to black women by not Just
siding with Simone because Simone is black.
Exactly.
So that's a defense mechanism. That's why they tapped her. That's why she got the tap on the shoulder to do the role, because she's indefensible. She's inoffensible because she's black. So she can say, she could literally say the moon is purple, and you hate black women because you disagree with her.
Yep.
That's exactly how crazy it can be.
And I get all the names that I got during the election now over on this side because I don't agree with what Simone says. And I said, Simone, I don't stand with Simone. I stand with Riley Gaines because Riley is speaking truth. But no, there's something wrong with me for agreeing with that. And I hate black women. I am not a black woman. I am back to being a bootlicker again because I don't think men, right? I don't think men should be in women's sports. And I was just like, what? Like, y'all don't even.
That is
at this
crazy.
point, I don't think people use their brain anymore. I really don't.
It's an emotional response. They respond emotionally to this. And again, it's just, and they know that they know that a large majority is going to follow after her, lockstep with no thought process behind it. But okay, I'm gonna leave it alone.
Somebody said, look at Beyonce. Just imagine if Beyonce went and supported Simone. Then, Lord, I am going to be dragged from here to thy kingdom come for saying that I don't agree with it.
Yeah, shout out to Amethyst Angel with the $5 super chat. Says, I remember the multicultural Cinderella starring Brandy. Bette Midler was the stepmother. I vaguely remember that. I vaguely remember that. Somebody else brought up, they brought up The Matrix and how Morpheus, played by Lawrence Fishburne, could have been played by a white guy. So is Neo. But the word on the street, and I don't know if I'm 100% accurate on this, but if I'm not mistaken, I think Will Smith actually turned down the role of Neo first before Keanu Reeves was tapped on it. And he actually had come out, if I'm not mistaken, I want to say I seen an interview where they was asking him like, hey, is there a role that you regret turning down or something along those lines? And that was the role.
Yes. He did say that.
This is a fictional story. You kind of could have put anybody in anything, but if I'm not mistaken, am I right on that? I feel like I've seen something along those lines.
He did an interview and say he was supposed to be Neo, and that's the one role that he does regret turning down. And I was like, you were supposed to be Neo? I was shocked. I was like, I didn't even know.
I think it worked out the way it was supposed to work out. I don't know if I could see, like, just looking at it, knowing what I know about this series or the franchise at this point. I think it's with Keanu Reeves did an outstanding job playing Neo, and honestly, I don't know if I could see Will Smith in that role.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
Y'all might not know this, but Nick Fury was not a character until Nick Fury was a character, I apologize, but he was like a D-list character in the Marvel universe. And they decided, because they liked Samuel L. Jackson, not because, and he was a white guy, by the way, in the comics, but they decided they wanted to tap Samuel Jackson to play Nick Fury in the MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And they actually started making, they brought him back into, because he had been quiet for some time, and they brought him into the comic books as a black man looking like Samuel Jackson, and that's it. Now, it wasn't primarily because of his ethnicity. They just thought Samuel Jackson would crush the role and he would do a great job. And I do think they were right. He did a fantastic job.
And he did.
He did a great job. So, we can give and take and say, hey, there have been some gambles as it relates to using different characters or different personalities to do a role, and they did a great job. I would never have thought that Keanu Reeves would have been so great in The Matrix, but I think that prepared him for what I love is the John Wick series. So,
it's the John Wick series.
Hat tip to that for sure. I think Samuel L. Jackson did a phenomenal job as Nick Fury, and so shout out to that. But that doesn't change the fact that those are ancillary. Those are definitely fringe examples, because what we're talking about, the lion's share of this is this lazy, not creative mindset of just, we just got to get to, we just got to get them black, female, make them gay. That's it.
Yes.
Make it lame.
I have a question
for you, Crystal. Well, go ahead. Ask your question.
I
Go
just
ahead.
wanted to ask you real quick. How did you feel about the president of Mexico telling the people in California to stand up and fight against our government?
I got a huge problem with that, and it goes back to what Jason had said earlier, as in this is an invasion.
Yeah.
And when you have the president of another country telling the people in the other country to stand up and fight against the powers that be in that country, yeah, it sounds like and looks like exactly what it is, an invasion. Again, I go back to what I said earlier as well. Like, if you really wanted to be a part of America, I understand the protest. I get that. But you would be protesting with American flags saying that, hey, we're here to assimilate and we're after the American dream, no different than anybody else in this country. And they're out there with Mexican flags and flags of other nations. Doesn't necessarily sound like these are people that are looking to assimilate, into American way of life.
Do you think Trump will take that as a declaration of war?
Ooh, that's a good question. Declaration of war. No, I don't think he'll take it as that. At least publicly. No, I don't think so. I think maybe behind closed doors, maybe. Publicly, no, I don't think he'll come out and say something along those lines publicly. But what do you think, Jason?
I hope not. I support the president. I think we need to do some more things nationwide to resolve some issues that we have. I think first of all, he hasn't started any wars yet. So I think he needs to keep that record of not starting wars and needs to quash wars and international squabbles. I think just making it more difficult for that's fine. If you want to riot and stuff like that, we're making it very difficult for you to get the services that you might have thought that you had access to. And we're gonna choke you out that way and encourage that self-deportation and such of that nature. But no, I don't think we should. I'm fine with something happening behind closed doors that rectifies this problem, but I don't need anything in the streets.
I agree.
Yeah, and I agree with you, Jason. I don't want to hear the president come out and declare. I mean, declaring war against Mexico, is that really declaring war against a country that we know can't do anything with us if we actually decided to do so? We take it over. It'd be over with in no time. You know what I'm saying? It would be over before it really got started, to be honest with you. And the grandstanding that you're seeing from the president of Mexico is exactly what it is. It's grandstanding because she knows, like, they don't really want those problems. They really don't want that, for real.
No.
Now, I'm one of those kind of people, and kind of some of the folks on my side of things over here are more along the lines of like, hey, maybe we should just take the continent itself, North America. We should just take it all over. Canada, Mexico.
Yeah.
It's all America now.
Exactly. Yes.
I'm kind of there,
Since they want to be here anyway, make it all America.
Is that too aggressive?
I don't think it's aggressive. Everybody wants to be here.
They want to be here. The thing is that they want to be here. You have Canadian citizens coming across the border to get health. As much as people talk about this universal health care that's going on up in Canada, they always find themselves down here when they actually need urgent care. They always find themselves down here because if you need an MRI, you're 3 to 6 months out before being seen. If you actually have something serious going on, you're 3 to 6 months, in some cases up to a year from being seen. In Mexico, because of the way things are down there, you have a lot of them that have decided that, hey, we're just going to illegally, migrate up this way.
I'm with you, Wise. I'm with you. What happened? I don't know what happened. Are y'all seeing me? Okay, y'all only see me. I don't know what happened. I don't know. I'm gonna try and hold on till Wise comes back. But this is so different. I have no idea where Wise went, and I'll keep y'all going until he pops back in and figures out what just went in this situation. Is it back up? I'll message them in the back end because I don't know where they went. But I agree with I agree with Wise. I'm not even gonna lie. I agree with him 100%. Because we don't need that drama. We since everybody want to be Americans, I personally feel like since they all want to be Americans, then let them be Americans. Okay, no problem. Yeah, I'll just have them be Americans 100%. What's the point? Let Mexico come in, let Canada come in, and then we don't have to worry about people being upset. They will be here. They will all be Americans, and we don't have to have that drama because right now, to me, it's excess drama, and they come into the United States, but then they want to go back. They don't want to go back, but they hate America. Like, listen, no, all y'all gonna be Americans at this point. Canada, Mexico, y'all all gonna be America. Period, point blank. That's how we're gonna do it from now on. And so that's why I said, I'm to me, what I see going on in LA, this is exactly why we need to do that because no one is taking this. Honestly, let's think about what's happening right now in LA, in California. And that president in Mexico saying what she said. When we look at all of that, we're seeing that these people don't have control of none of their stuff. The president of Mexico clearly has no control of what she's doing. We already know how we feel about the people up in Canada. They don't know what they're doing. At least we know that President Trump has his stuff going the way he's supposed to have it. And that is the key. So let's just make everybody fall into America. What did we say? Greenland too? We're going to pull them all in. And then we have a whole entire movement. Okay? We have a whole entire movement. And then the North America will be a movement, a whole thing. We don't have to worry about these other people. Because like I said, these people are crazy. And right now, the behavior that I'm seeing, if we don't do that, honestly, everybody who has an issue with America, because you cannot do this in anybody else's country, we can't go to no one else's country and destroy their flag. We cannot do it, period, point blank. So since we can't do that in nobody else's country, we should not allow it here in our country. We shouldn't. That's unacceptable. And I feel like if we don't handle that with a strong arm, more people are going to come in here and feel like they could do whatever they want to do. I look at it as children. This is how I see it. I see it as children. You know, kids, they'll keep testing you and testing you and testing you until it gets to a point where they're trying to see how much they can get away with. That's what these people are doing. They keep poking and prodding and they're trying to test. Let me see what I can get away with. Can I get away with this? Can I get away with that? Can I get away with this? And it gets to the point that after a while, it's like, all right, I can do whatever I want. And that's what we're seeing. That's what we're seeing because the previous 4 years, they were free to do whatever they want. They moved how they wanted. They virtue signal as much as they want. They did whatever they wanted to do. And now fast forward. What's the issue? Now people don't want to understand what's happening. What is happening? The president said, no, we are a nation of law and order. And they're losing their mind with the nation being law and order. Listen, we can't manage under chaos. We cannot manage under chaos. I don't know how to manage under chaos. I don't want to live in chaos. I want to live in structure. I want to live in a place where we don't have to deal with people running our country the way they want to. And that's how I feel about that. You see Wise in the chat. Okay. No problem. I got it. West Virginia. And so that's all I'm saying. I'm saying that at this point, if we don't bring back structure to our country, we will become the third world. That's the scary part. We will become the third world, a third world country, if we don't bring back structure to the United States of America. And I can't live in that space. That's why all these people left their previous countries. to get out of that. Somebody on my TikTok said this, and it was so on point. They said, you leave your country because you don't feel safe, only to come into our country and disrespect our country. How is that possible? How is that possible? How do you think that makes sense? You're afraid of your country, but you come into our country to be disrespectful. I always tell people, think about it like your home. This is my home. This is my home. I let you come into my home because it's not safe for you outside. And then you come into my house and then you tell me how you want things to go. You're going to tell me that this is how you're going to be in my house. You're going to tell me you're going to disrespect my rules of my house. You're going to tell me I'm going to bring in whoever I want to bring into my house, into my house. And I'm supposed to sit there and be like, okay, who pays the mortgage? Who pays these bills here? Not you. So please, you cannot tell me what or how my house is going to run. You either respect or get out. Exactly, Di Maria, get out. That's just how I see it. If you don't like my rules, if you don't like my regulations, no, you're not going to be up here destroying our place. You're going to get out. It's as simple as that. And that's how I look at all of it. When I see the bad behavior that's going on over there, and people like Gavin Newsom and Kamala Harris that are standing up 10 toes down, telling people saying that they want to sue the Trump administration because they're upset because Trump is trying to keep the place in order. As I was explaining to some of the people within